Hi guys! 2 years ago, YouTuber Daniel Greene threatened to wipe me off of social media. So if I disappear, you'll know who did it. If this behavior occurs again, action will be taken against you to block you from all social media platforms. We will take action to remove your site and prevent you from further posting. Let's talk about why. In June of 2023, I made a video and posted it here on YouTube. It was titled, "A Conversation About Manipulation, Consent, and Assault." It was a general video on, just a discussion of consent and assault and all that. In it, I gave a very brief and vague personal example. I said that I had a friend turn out to not be a friend, and that he assaulted me, and that I had been in contact with a person who said he assaulted her. Again, I did not identify who I was talking about at all. I did not say what this person's name was. I did not describe what they looked like. I did not describe where they lived, where they were from, what they did for work. Nothing. 8 days later, I received a cease and desist from Daniel Greene's lawyer, threatening me with a lawsuit, demanding that I take that video down in 24 hours, or they would sue me for slander and defamation, they would bury me under legal fees, and they would wipe me off of social media. Again, I never said that video was about Daniel. Not once. I never identified who it was about. I go to Vegas often to get tattooed. Daniel knows that. In fact, that was something that I said to his lawyer. I told his lawyer, I go to Vegas often to get tattooed. Daniel knows that. If he thinks that video's about him, that just says something about how he views his own behavior. So I did not take that video down. They gave me 24 hours, or they would sue me. I never heard back from his lawyer, despite the fact that I asked her a direct question. She called him a medical professional. As far as I know, I don't think he's a doctor. I'm assuming that was a typo, or they forgot to remove it from the template. I sent this cease and desist to someone, and she's read a lot of them in her life, and she said that this was one of the most aggressive cease and desists she had ever read in her life. She also said that if she hadn't known what this was about, she would have thought it was a cease and desist in regards to a bad review on Yelp for a doctor. Because they brought up Yelp like 8 times. They didn't want me talking about him ever again. But again, I never said that video was about him. Now, they also accused me of harassment and invasion of privacy, which I'm not afraid to address. I have nothing to hide. After what he did to me in Vegas, I reached out to his partner, because I needed her to know that what had happened, I didn't want. I know what it's like to move country for somebody and then find out that they're a lying, cheating piece of shit. I needed her to know that I didn't want it. I needed her to know that he was sober and wide awake. Fucking done crying about this shit. He was sober and wide awake, and I was half asleep and on drugs, which he knew. I had arrived in Vegas in the morning, and I spent 420 just getting baked by the pool, taking 40 milligram edibles all day. Because it was fucking 420. I went to sleep because his flight was gonna land late in the evening, and it would be about midnight before he would arrive. I specifically asked him to bring coffee if he wanted to stay up and talk. I specifically asked him to bring coffee. He said, nope, let's just sleep, we'll hang out in the morning. He turned up at midnight, sober and awake, and pressured me, half asleep and on drugs, into sexual things that he and I had agreed beforehand would not happen. I repeatedly asked him if we could just sleep and talk in the morning. I was halfway through a sentence when he pushed me over and shoved his tongue in my mouth. He repeatedly tried to stick his penis in me, saying, come on, just the tip. I repeatedly pushed his penis away, saying, I'm not having sex without lube, I'm not having sex without lube, I'm not having sex without lube. Because I have medical conditions. One of which is idiopathic hypogonadotropic hypogonadism. It can make sex very painful for me. I cannot self-lubricate or stretch, which he knows. He kept trying to shove it in me. I kept pushing his dick away, just repeating, I'm not having sex without lube, I'm not having sex without lube. Jerking off onto me, moaning about how long he'd dreamt about it. It was fucking disgusting. The shit he said. I was half asleep and on drugs. I didn't fucking want it. He told me he wanted to take me on a friendship trip. He told me he wanted to spoil me as a friend. We agreed beforehand we were just friends. He turned up at midnight and immediately went against his word. I didn't have time to fucking think. Anyway, I reached out to his girlfriend because I felt like shit. And I know what it's like to be cheated on, and it fucking sucks. She replied and asked me for the truth. She asked me for the truth. I was at the airport when I received that message. I headed home to send her the truth. By the time I got home, she had asked me to leave her alone, which I completely understood. So I respected that and I left her alone. A handful of days later, she reached out to me again to call me a vile, despicable human being. It was that message that made it very clear to me that she had been asking him for the truth, and he was still lying. There's no way in fucking hell you do that to me and then use me as a fucking scapegoat. Jesus Christ. Fucking disgusting. So, because she had once asked me for the truth and made it blatantly clear she had been asking him for it and that he was still lying, I sent her 8 pages that I had written, because this is how I fucking deal with shit. If I have something to say with somebody, I write it down and I make them listen. This was written and read to Daniel weeks before all of this. 8 pages. 1.5 pages of this was me calling him out for the way he had been treating me for 3 years. And 6.5 pages was me calling him out for his behavior in relationships and all the shit that he had been saying and doing behind his partner's back for 2 years. I had proof that I fucking fought for her. I had proof that I fought for their relationship. I begged him to fucking talk to her for 2 fucking years. Only to have him lie to get me alone, pressure me into sexual things that he agreed wouldn't happen, and then go home and use me as a scapegoat. She wanted the truth. He was still lying. He said she deserved to know everything. Okay? He said she deserved to know everything, and by golly did I agree. In fact, I had 8 pages of proof that I had been telling him that for 2 fucking years. So I sent it to her. If he had truly told her everything, this shouldn't have made a fucking difference, but it looks like it did. And in case he is denying having ever heard this, here is the exact date and time I told him about it, the exact date and time I followed up about it, and the exact date and time we had that call. He thanked me for this. He thanked me on call, which I obviously don't have proof of. I unfortunately did not record our conversations. But 10 days later, completely of his own accord, he reached out to me again to thank me again for this very real wake-up call. Okay? I have proof that he heard this and that he thanked me for it. I have proof he said she deserved to know the truth, and I have proof that she asked me for the truth. Weeks after that happened, I made my video, a conversation about manipulation, consent, and assault. I did not think he was keeping tabs on me. At the time I received the cease and desist, I was already going through something. I was already dealing with some trauma. Oh, and by the way, he knew that I already had PTSD from previous trauma. I was already going through some shit. But this made it so much worse. Finding out that someone who hurt you is keeping tabs on you and watching you, even though they blocked you. I kept that video fucking vague, and I did it on purpose because I didn't want to start shit. I never said it was about him, and I'm not saying that it is. What I am saying is that he said it was about him, and that he threatened to sue me if I didn't take it down within 24 hours. But I left it up, and it's been up for almost 2 years. I know people are gonna ask me why I didn't say something earlier. I wasn't ready. I mean, fuck, I thought I was ready, but I get... I guess not. But I have to do this. I have stayed silent for almost 2 years, and that silence has not been good for my mental health. I don't think I will ever truly know peace if I allow him to silence me. And in case you're wondering if there have been any allegations against Daniel, there was. He told me about it. That's the only reason I know about it. He told me it was false, and that there's no way it could be true, because he wasn't there at the time. Turns out he told Discord something different. He told Discord he was there, but he was only there to visit his father. So, I'm not saying that a conversation about manipulation, consent, and assault is about Daniel. I never did. I go to Vegas often to get tattooed. My Mamba Batok lives there. My spirit dad. I have to say something. I want to fucking breathe again. Holy fucking Jesus, I thought I was done crying about this. he did the things that I mentioned in that video, then that would mean it's a pattern. And if I woke up one day and saw another allegation somewhere, I would never forgive myself for saying nothing. Because Daniel likes to take his friends traveling. I wonder if they'll sue me over this. I'm not saying that other video is about him. I never did. This one's about him, and all I'm doing is sharing the cease and desist. All I'm doing is sharing the fact that he was keeping tabs on me even weeks after our friendship ended, and that he watched my video, and that he said it was about him, even though I never did, and that he went to a law firm and told them it was about him, and that he sent a lawyer after me to bark like a fucking dog and threaten me into silence. He threatened to sue me, he threatened to bury me under legal fees, he threatened to wipe me off of social media if I didn't take that video down in 24 hours. After I got this, anytime I got an email, it's gonna happen again, I guarantee you, anytime I saw that little notification on my phone, my stomach would fucking drop. Because I was fucking terrified. It was his lawyer, again, coming after me to threaten me for something else. I spent a good year of my life looking over my shoulder, wondering what I couldn't say. Because apparently, if I talked about my life and the things that I have been through, even though, you know, even if I never say who the fuck it was, apparently he was gonna come after me for it. Sorry, not apparently, confirmed. That's gonna happen again if I post this. But I want to feel okay again. And I don't think I ever will if I let him silence me. I will not let him silence me. And I will not let him bury this the way he likes things to get buried. I think his followers deserve to know what kind of a man he is. Because, as his own lawyer said, he's done a good job building a positive reputation as a medical professional. The kind of man he is when the cameras are not rolling. He's a liar and a cheater. He is a vile, despicable human being, and those words come straight from the mouth of his own partner. I don't know if they're still together. I'm not looking him up. I never want to see his face again. The first thing I did when our friendship ended, I went to YouTube, I clicked on an icon of his video, and I hit Do Not Recommend channel. Because I never wanted to see his face again. But it turns out he was keeping tabs on me. Daniel is a vile, despicable human being. And the kind of man who would pressure one of his own best friends into sexual things while he's sober and awake, knowing very well that they are half asleep and on drugs. He is the kind of man to keep tabs on them, watch their videos, and hire a lawyer to try and threaten them into silence. He is the kind of man that would threaten a lawsuit, legal fees, and social media eradication over a video in which I never identified who I was talking about. That's the kind of man he is. I am done being silent. I don't know what's gonna happen. If I disappear, you'll know who did it. I don't fucking know. Maybe I'll receive another cease and desist. I wonder if he'll go with the same lawyer. She called him a medical professional. This was the revised version. It was titled Revised Cease and Desist. But they threatened defamation on a video that never said it was about him, and they called him a medical professional, and she accidentally sent me a blank email half an hour before the real one. So he might go with someone new. 4/20 of 2023, I spent alone in Vegas by the pool. 4/20 of 2024 was this. And I'm not having that this year. I am done being silent. I don't know what this is gonna do. I don't need this to blow up. I don't want this to blow up. I just fucking... I just can't stay silent. And there's no reason why this story needs to end with him getting away with it. Not when he went out of his way to attach his own name to that video. I never said it was about him. Not once. And I'm not saying that it is. What I am saying is that he threatened to sue me over it. So, yeah. If I disappear, you'll know who did it. I will not let him silence me. I will not let him bury me. Hey guys, it is 8 in the morning and I touched up my roots yesterday, so I got splotches of dye in my face, but that's fine. I was just ruminating in the shower. Okay, I'm back on another day to finish this. Let's talk about day number 2. Okay, I'm just gonna force myself to talk through the tears, because otherwise it's just gonna take too long, so forgive me. Okay, whew. Day number 2. We went for breakfast, and over breakfast we discussed the fact that it never should have happened, and that we were just friends, and that it was never going to happen again. We had that conversation over breakfast. After breakfast, on the way back, he stopped by an ATM, and I told him I didn't want his money, because he said he wanted to spoil me as a friend. And he said, no, I promise you, just friends. It never should have happened. Never happening again. Just friends. I told you I wanted to spoil you. Right, this was a last-minute tattoo appointment. It was last minute. My mamba batok said, I have a cancellation for tomorrow. Do you want a spot? And I said, oh my god, yes, I'll ask my friend, but to be honest, his opinion doesn't matter. I want to get fucking tattooed. So the appointment was at 4. We got back to the hotel. I went to the pool. He stayed in the hotel room for hours. I stayed by the pool, eating edibles. Eventually he came out, we hung out there for a little bit, and then I had to go to my appointment. And he was gonna come with. So we went back to the hotel room. And as soon as we were alone again, guess who went back against his word? As soon as we were alone again, he started pressuring me all over again. And I said repeatedly, we just talked about this over breakfast. We just talked about this. We just said, we're just friends. Never happening again. Shouldn't have happened. And he kept saying, oh, what's the difference? We already did it once. We already did it once. What's the difference? I had a fucking tattoo appointment. I had somewhere to fucking be. Both times he jerked himself off onto me. Except the second time, it was worse. Because he also shoved his dick in my mouth. I remember my mouth was so fucking dry from the edibles. Felt like a fucking carpet. And it was all so fast. He came all over my buttock, which is sacred, and was given to me for sexual healing because of things that I have been through in my past. And he knows that. And then I went to my tattoo appointment. So, he cannot say that he made a mistake and it was a one-time thing. He did it twice. Both times I repeatedly tried to talk him out of it, and both times he jerked himself off onto me. Both times he said horrific things while doing it. And then I went and I got tattooed. And it was really painful, and I went into shock. And I was bandaged up. And I feel like it might have saved me, because he didn't touch me after that. He knew that I already have PTSD. Fuck. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, I'm done. Oh. Okay. No, not doing it. Oh, okay, okay. Hey, Teddy. Hey, buddy. Also, I forgot to mention that I did report this to the Las Vegas police.